Let's bring in NBC News Chief Justice and National Affairs Correspondent Kelly O'Donnell. Kelly, thanks for being with us. I mean, really just some stunning details here. What I mentioned, the Turtle Island Liberation Front, as well as what sounds like an even more sort of radical group within that group called the Order of the Black Lotus. We understand sort of the leader here said that their sort of mission was, quote, everything radical. Tell me what just stuck out to you from that press conference.
Well, I've also been reviewing the criminal complaint here, which is a very dense document that talks about how human sources were able to deal with this group, provide information that authorities were able to act on, handwritten plans to have backpacks filled with pipe bombs for what they claim are planned attacks that would have, had this group been able to move forward, targeting New Year's Eve across 5 locations in Los Angeles. This group, which may be new to, it was new to me, it may be new to many of our viewers, describes itself as wanting to use not just peaceful means to take action. In fact, they decry peaceful means based on quotes that are obtained and written into this document from the handwritten notes in preparation that authorities claimed they were able to receive. Anti-government, anti-capitalism, wanting to have sovereignty, the name Turtle Island associated with some Native American groups referring to North America. So there's a lot here to try to understand. What clearly has taken place in terms of the law enforcement piece is they were able to intercept this. They were able to get through search warrants, through interviews, through reviewing documents, enough information that they believe they were able to take these 4 individuals off the playing field, if you can use that term. A 5th person also arrested in New Orleans, perhaps related to this. And it talks about a very organized plot. We don't have all the details yet in going through this about how they were financed or how long this has been in the works. But this is the kind of thing that when the sheriff was talking about use your instincts, if people see something in their community and it looks askew to them, listen to that instinct, because these kinds of homegrown, small group plots can be something that can be at times difficult to penetrate. And in this case, the FBI and the collaboration of law enforcement were able to get real active intel with plans for testing explosives out in the desert, descriptions of what their motivations were. There's also a political piece in this. And so there's the law enforcement work that has brought us to this point with this criminal complaint and these defendants being in court later today to face these charges. And then obviously you heard what is an overarching theme of the Trump administration, and that is the argument that that they are looking for left-leaning groups that are anti-government, anti-capitalism, and willing to stoke violence. We've seen a lot of political violence in our country this year in particular, and certainly this plays into part of what the administration says it wants to root out. This certainly falls right into that category of the kinds of groups they are pursuing, and in this case, they have a lot of supporting evidence, as evidence is described in this criminal complaint, that shows intent, it shows the tools, the bomb-making materials, a lot of details that help to bring this case together and potentially to have thwarted a plot that might have played out around the holidays. Savannah?
Really just some chilling details there, Kelly. Also, Kelly, you mentioned the fact that they were testing these bombs in the desert. For viewers who are watching their screens, they were actually just showing a moment ago surveillance footage. They had actually been able to film them. Here it is right here on your screen, testing these bombs out in the Mojave Desert. I understand we were just made aware at this press conference it was after this video was taken that those arrests were made. And the authorities that just provided this briefing do believe that they have everyone who was involved in custody. Kelly, thank you very much for your reporting there and for getting through those documents quite quickly for us.
We thank you for watching. And remember, stay updated on breaking news and top stories on the NBC News app or watch live on our YouTube channel.